What timing? The perfect timing.
Because you have that virtual background, you just appeared out of nowhere when you were walking towards us.
I'm back from Narnia.
Tom,
Jim,
is that you? Is that you? I haven't
holy
seen you
cow,
in
it's
so
been
long.
forever. What is going on? I know it's been a while. We've gotten older and more broken down.
That's a true statement. My knee is in bad shape. It is true.
Is it as bad as the statement on your shirt?
It is. It's
And by bad, I mean good, because that's a cool shirt.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Yeah,
And it's been a while since I've seen you in real life too. We don't usually go weeks.
it-
Like we went whole weeks of chunks of time before
yeah.
hanging out.
This just means that we have to go on a robbing spree pretty soon.
Yeah, for you any day now. There was a convention today that we didn't go to locally. I think in Levittown or something. There was some sort of
Oh, was there?
anime popcorn thing. Yeah.
Well, this just means we'll have to hit ToyCon, because I know ToyCon is coming up in September. I think they're doing another. I think Legion's Con is happening.
Both are
Um,
in Jersey, right?
I believe so, and
All
they're
right.
gonna keep my eyes open because my nephew has been asking to go to a convention that has like cosplay and whatnot. So there's got to be something local that we can bring him to, because
Let's
that's
do it.
a fun time for them, and it's a fun time for me watching them have fun.
I'll check my social calendar. I'm free.
That's great news. My calendar is also just wide open.
So that's quite a display behind you.
So, because I have the last episode that people may or may not remember, I had nothing behind me because the word of the day was sparse. The word
Right.
of the day continues to be sparse. However, the background behind me is from years ago when I used to live in Jersey, and my apartment was set up with this this Transformers display that you see behind me, where I had
It's a cool
on
display.
shelves. Yeah, it was a really nice apartment. I was able to get it kind of. I didn't have as much stuff then as I do now, but I was able to get pretty much everything out and displayed. So it was really cool. Like these if people can make out some of the ones behind me, these are from like a lot are from the Transformers Generations line, or the Classics line, plus a lot of stuff from BotCon, and it was it was a fun time. Like the collection has changed and altered, and my displays have changed a little bit. But I thought this would be a fun thing to toss up behind me, because right now there's nothing there's nothing going on.
It's just the vastness of space.
Oh, it
Well,
was so much fun.
we're glad that your computer is back in functioning order, or some sort of computer is, and
Yes,
we can continue doing this. Hopefully, we still have some loyal listeners. That would be nice.
yes.
It's been
If you have
4
stuck
weeks.
with us, yeah, I'd like to formally apologize to anyone who has been listening faithfully or watching faithfully, that we had kind of an impromptu break for a few weeks. Computer stuff, general life stuff. But we're back. I'm messing around with my iPad, so hopefully the general quality has gone up a little bit. I may have to tweak my light source, because I look a little too extreme in the lights and the darks, a little too faced.
Yeah, I like it
Which,
though.
but I'm doing my best Dr. Claw first impression right now.
Inspector Gadget will continue.
Um,
I'm,
very good, very good. So, in the last month, have you gotten anything new?
oh my lord, I've gotten a
Pick your
lot of
favorite.
stuff.
Pick your favorite.
There's a lot. There's a lot going
While
on.
I drink my tea, pick your favorite.
Fantastic. So I'd like to dedicate this slight bit of a rant to mug root beer.
A rant? We're doing a rant already?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a rant that kind of has a happy ending, but it's more of like an angry ending. So as
That's
everyone knows,
confusing.
like San Diego Comic-Con happened, which was awesome. We got to see a whole lot of awesome things. We got to see the reveal of the snake lair, which Mattel is backpedaling on, which is kind of a shame. And I've got a whole other separate rant on that. But
Save that one for next week.
yeah, it's cool to see it'll be here forever. We got a month's worth of reveals and toy news to talk about. But one of the things that I was looking the most forward to, and we have been talking about this kind of since the show started, is was once a man Cobra Commander. And we've talked about this for a long time.
Yeah, at least
about how
14,000 times.
Yeah, and how much we, or I know I certainly wanted this to exist, and I'm pretty sure that you wanted it to exist, because it would just be fun to have a little bendy snake Cobra Commander to wrap around Roadblock, and you can walk into the mess hall and be like, "Give me some potatoes. That's the plan. Tell him, Commander."
I was once a man.
and then Joes have to have an intervention, and they're like, "Roadblock, you got real close to Cobra Commander. You only say rhymes that end in "and," so he can talk. We gotta.
They start to sound like Run DMC, when they finish, and he just
he gets really offended whenever they try and talk to him about it. "I'm out of here. I don't need this man. Tell him, Commander." "That's a man." They leave the room in a huff. But so Hasbro did what I was just dying for them to do, and it was once a man Cobra Commander as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And I honestly thought maybe 15 people wanted this, because it's kind of a silly, kind of an out there. It's kind of like the perfect exclusive.
I knew if they made it 1,000,000 people, 1,000,001, because I would want it. Like that's maybe because you're not a big Joe guy, but we all wanted it.
You were correct, sir, because San Diego Comic-Con happens, it's wiped out immediately. And I know there's always kind of like an after convention sale, which awesome. And so day comes along. They were being a little dodgy about it, like they weren't really committing to a specific day, but they finally did. I jump on. I've got they had recently migrated everything onto, I think, like a new site or a new server for Hasbro. So you had to like log in again and put in your info again and whatever. So it's the day of the sale. I go in, I log in, Cobra Commander goes live. I put 2 in my cart. The limit was 5, which is weird, because why is the limit 5 for a convention exclusive?
Yeah,
anyway,
that's a lot.
So I put 2 in my cart. I go to check out. It asks for my phone number. Weird. Why? It's already in there. It doesn't want to acknowledge that the number is a US phone number. So I have to delete it, put it back in, ask for my credit card information. I put that in again. And before I can finish all of this, it sells out. This is at 2 minutes and 15 seconds, which felt like an eternity.
You had to be
but
faster.
Also super duper stupidly fast. So it's gone. I'm furious. It's CollectorCon all over again.
Right. And now we're going to pay $100 for this thing.
Yeah. So now,
which I will do.
Well, hopefully you won't have to. And my order actually went through, and I have one for you for retail. But
nice.
I couldn't believe it. And I was like, well, look, sometimes this happens. Sometimes they don't anticipate. Maybe this is just like what they have in stock versus what they plan on getting in later or whatever. And it's just gone. So everyone else is screaming. Then I find out the listing went live 3 hours prior to the sale time. People were talking about this online or like via Twitter saying, I just put in an order and it went fine. So X number of people got to order. Probably.
Well, that's why there was nothing left by the time you got there, because you followed the rules, Tom.
Just gone. That's what I get. So
see, I'm one of those guys where I wouldn't have even tried it until they said it starts at 2 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, I'd be on a thing, but I wouldn't have even like, well, let me go try it and see what happens. Like I wouldn't have even done it. Now I know.
It was infuriating. So the next day, so Hasbro announces, okay, the next day we're gonna do it again. We're gonna put some more up. It's gonna start this time. Be there, be square. So same thing. I go there, it's gone.
And you were square. You were square.
I was extra square. This my haircut.
It's hip. It's hip to be square.
It happened once again. Just gone. More fury, more anger. So over the course of that day, so I did see that it was going in and out of stock.
We're going into chapter 3 now. Okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
Now, mind you, in between this, I had seen somewhere somebody say the UK site still has a bunch of these, and I was like, really?
They're called Action Force Cobra Commander.
Exactly. He looks exactly the same. He just has a slight British accent. He literally likes trumpets. So
I'm the bloke. That's what he says.
What's a bloke? So I go to the Hasbro UK site, and sure enough, they let me put as many as I want in my cart. So then I start looking through, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to sign up for some sort of weird UK post box that will then ship from there to the US if I can't get it in the United
This is
States.
a lot. Like drug smugglers don't go through all this, Tom. They
Oh, I feel
just
like I deserve some
find
kind
a
of
mule
prize.
and make it happen.
I think I deserve a prize, like a once a man Cobra
Oh,
Commander.
maybe if you get some European mail away bride, she could just bring them with her.
Yeah, but then she's gonna want one of them, and I don't want to share, and it's just gonna be a big thing.
Well,
So,
get a pretty one. She won't want to do anything with your toys or comics.
so over the course of the day, I'm hearing that it's coming in and out of stock. So I wind up. These are the lengths that I wind up going
okay.
through.
Chapter 4.
Yeah, so I wind up I download an extension for Chrome that refreshes your website every 10 seconds. I'm at work.
Okay.
Don't listen to this, work people. I'm at work. I just have this tab open on the side while I'm doing work. And I'm watching it to see if it goes from like low stock, from out of stock to in stock. And finally it actually changes, and I just randomly click and it finally lets me check out. So around like 7:30 p.m. on the second day, I managed to get 2 was once a man Cobra Commander. He's just gone now.
So now are you getting 7?
No.
Oh.
I'm getting 2.
Okay, because you said the European folks allowed you to. Oh no, you could order as many as you want from Europe.
Oh yeah, I think the limit was still 5, but like you could there was no sign of it selling out. In fact, last time I checked, if you live in Europe, go get you a random Cobra Commander at your convenience because it's still in stock.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go buy some tickets, man.
So in the end, everything worked out.
Okay. I like the post credits.
Thankfully, hopefully the post credit sequence to this story is not my order being canceled.
You'll be like, I was once a customer to Hasbro.
Give me my membership back.
Okay, so back to the original query. Have you gotten anything new?
All right, so aside from pre-orders of that, I do have. And again, this is just from the giant pile of.
Oh yeah, you can't hold it up because you're screwing up your green screen.
It's magic. It's magic, folks. So what? So the return.
It's a cloak of invisibility.
The return of what's in the box, because oh my goodness, there's a lot of boxes that have accumulated over this.
What? Is that a number 2 pencil that you open a box with?
It sure is. I couldn't locate my my X-Acto, so this will have to do.
What, do you have to fill out a Scantron to get in a box?
I have to get a 65 or higher in order to get this to open. Oh, neat. So this was one of my easier orders. Oh no. Oh, it's doing the
Thundercats
thing. Oh no, you can't see it. So this is the
right there. It's good. Hold it against you. Don't lean in.
There we go.
There you go.
So this was the Spirit of Groon, which I was really
that's nice.
Do because the Spirit of Jago was great, but I love Groon. He's such a great character, and I think he's awesome. So I thought it was really great that Super 7 decided to do the ghost version of him. So I ordered both him and there was a glow in the dark scumbug that was being
yeah.
I got him as well. I'm really excited for this. I do hope that the hips on this are a little bit better secured, because I have a regular Groon and he's real wobbly in the
You're
hip.
Hoping his hips won't lie.
He gets a little James Brownie with the hip action there.
Maybe he's playing a little hokey pokey.
He might be. I don't know. He's trying to. But
that's what it's all about. I've been told.
So I got.
Oh, another box.
Yeah. So I won't go through the whole pile. But there's.
Are you gonna use a crayon to open this one?
Like there's just been. I was gonna use a specialized pen, but now we'll stick with the number 2s.
Right.
The number 2s are what got me started in art. I owe them a lot.
I'm not going to make any comment about number 2. Tom's art is the number 2.
at here. I feel like everyone's heart started off as number 2. Oh, fantastic. So this is from Hasbro Pulse. This I've been waiting for a while. This is the Transformers Legacy version of Armada Prime.
Nice.
Who is... He's got kind of a weird story. When Transformers Armada first appeared, he got the moniker of Mermaid Prime because he's got the weird grill and the kind of the fish ears going on. But the toy was very beholden to the gimmick, which is, I don't want to say it crippled the line, but there were some limitations on it because they were trying to fit in different, like the mini con gimmick where you click them on and they would unlock some sort of action.
Right, yeah.
And this version of Prime was a cool looking truck that combined with his trailer, and it was like an auto transform feature. So you would have the truck and you turn him into the torso, and you would lock that on. You would click something on the trailer, and it would auto transform into the legs, and then you would connect them on top. By legs, I kind of mean just a giant plastic rectangle. There's no real articulation to be had.
Kind of like the original Prime, just kind of had those feet that came up.
Yeah, and if anyone listening had Star Convoy that came out in the early 90s, late 80s, it kind of a very similar thing where it looks cool and he's tall and he's big, but he's just kind of a box. That was where it was at. But this one, this new one, they went into a lot of engineering. They did a lot of engineering on this to make him actually articulated and keep the original gimmick, because it's a cool design. It's all in the execution of it. So this came out, I want to see maybe about a year ago. Never hit shelves.
No, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it was available for order, but he came and went, and I didn't think they would release him again. So I was at some point going to begrudgingly pay what they were asking for him. But thankfully I don't have to, because they re-released him. So
thankfully. Thank you for doing that, Transformers people.
Appreciate it, Transformers people. I'm still mad at the Joe people, but I kind of have what I wanted ordered, so that's where we're at. So
can't get mad at Joe people.
What have you been collecting over this?
Not a lot, but I did pick up the Biker Mice from Mars, which maybe I'll show next week perhaps. But I did pick up some of the superpowers to make. You know how much I love superpowers. I love the original figure line. That's my favorite. So when McFarlane said I'm doing more, I got excited about it. And I love that we're getting characters we didn't originally have.
That is awesome.
Right? Yep. We've got Metamorpho, the Elemental Man. We've got Guy Gardner.
Oh, very nice.
And I love that they gave him this look with the collar.
Yes, I'm glad you got the bowl cut.
Yeah,
and the original kind of collar, because you're going to release the more modern version later.
Right. Yeah. And now I want Batman to hit him, and then a bubble from behind that says "one punch," right? And then Black Manta, which I didn't think was going to stand up because of this big dome of his. Yeah, and I love this classic look. The only thing I really liked about the Aquaman movie is that they kept Black Manta looking this way.
They did a really good job with Black Manta.
If they would have streamlined that, I've seen a couple of versions where it's a little more, but I like this classic look, and I'm glad, because there's no way. Look at that neck. There's no way a human being is fitting in there, but that's okay. I mean, his eyes are like right over, like right in there.
His line of vision is real limited, and then it's all red, so it's going to be real tough to perform.
Yeah, fantastic. All three of these.
That is great.
All three of these are great figures. I hope McFarlane keeps it up. No notes on these guys. I love them. Keep them coming. And they're so affordable, like $10. $10, you get one of these guys.
That is really cool. I am glad that he's able to keep the pricing down on those, because if those were under the Reaction label, they'd be like $24 each.
Right, which make and these are so much better. The Reaction guys have no detail. They're just so and they're 25. Like, I bought those when they were $10, and I'd gladly pay $10 for them again. But I'm not paying $25. But $10 for this guy, absolutely.
Like, I know the respective companies have they're in different financial situations, but it doesn't change the fact that $10 for those is way more enticing than what we're paying for Reactions. But yeah, those are fantastic. Have you seen I saw this in Target. I wasn't sure if you wanted it or not. It was the 7-inch scale version of the Japanese Batman. Were you looking? Have you been looking for that?
I did see him, and I will pick him up. Yeah, because
Okay.
they made the version of him in this size too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, it's a silly question, Tom. It's Batman. It's a Batman figure,
Sometimes I'm not sure. I'm not sure if either you have
right?
him already or if it's one where you're like, nah, like that, like the glow in the dark Batmobile it's been solicited. Where even I might pick that up
Oh
because
yeah,
it looks
I'll
really
definitely get
good.
that. I mean, it has to be glow in the dark because that's the Schumacher Batmobile. So
Yeah, it's not even my favorite design, but those pictures were real enticing.
yeah, there are pretty much, even the Batman figures that I'm like not extremely turned on about, but I'll buy,
Mhm.
a Batmobile and Batman. I'll pick them up eventually.
Yeah.
I'll pick them up eventually. All right, Tom. So now that we've covered a month's worth of stuff, what are we talking about today?
Well, having taken this amount of time off to handle, yeah, kind of outside things, it got me kind of thinking. What and you hear other collectors discuss this randomly, so I thought it was definitely something that we can get into, and it's kind of relevant to what's been going on in the last month or so. But when you hit the point where your collection is such that you sit back and you say, "Do I keep doing this? Do I want to keep collecting?" And I I thought
Hey, are
about
you giving? Is this an intervention?
for who? For you or for me? But I thought it was interesting for us to it would be interesting for us to talk about some of the things that might go into what would make you decide to stop collecting or to
Hmm.
put it on hold or to, you know, regardless of whatever. Well, actually, that's kind of what I want to talk about. Some of the things that you might encounter, you or I may deal with or have come up or just reach that point in collecting where you say, "Yeah, I'm good."
Hmm. Yeah, there have been times where I've taken a break. A lot of it circumstantial. Sometimes like when I was in
Mhm.
college, I didn't have any money.
Yeah,
So, but I was still
that.
collecting, but I would get like a figure a month because I was in a small town in North
Yeah.
Carolina, Laurenburg. We had one
Mhm.
comic book shop. If you wanted to, and it was a Walmart.
Mhm.
But if you wanted to go to like a Toys R Us or something, you had to travel all the way into Fayetteville, which was like a 40-minute drive.
Mhm.
Um, so I was still collecting, you're right, but it wasn't like I'd go out on a weekend and buy 20 figures.
Yeah.
I'd go out, on a weekend one month and buy two or one figure. And
Mhm.
that's like the time when DC Direct was coming out and it had to go to the comic book stores anyway, and they were a
Yeah.
little more pricey. So, certainly there are those like, and when I was in college, the collecting of toys and comics wasn't primary in my head, you know,
Yeah.
and I still had a collection. I had them on display in the room, my dorm room,
Mhm.
but it wasn't it. But there are sometimes, like for me, it's usually like a particular line. I
Yeah.
remember one time I love Reese's peanut butter cups, and I remember one time
Who
I
amongst us does not?
I ate so
Communist.
many peanut butter cups in such a short time. My doc, no, I was just like one day I was like, you know what? I just don't want any more peanut butter cups.
Mhm.
And I had Kit Kats. I went on a Kit Kat thing for a little while, but
Uh-huh.
I was like, first off, Reese's peanut butter cups built this temple, but I, uh, it was like a couple of months. I was like, God, I just can't eat another peanut butter cup. And I've
Mhm.
reached that twice now. I've reached that point with Marvel Legends. I'm
Okay.
in one of those phases right now. I'm like, you know what? I don't need any more Marvel Legends because
Yeah.
most of the characters they're coming out with, I already have some version of them, right?
Mhm.
Um, and that's happened twice. Like I've missed a lot of Marvel Legends because there was one at a time earlier. I was like, I'm done with them. When they
Yeah.
started doing all the movie ones, I was like, nah, I'm good. And now
Mhm.
again, starting maybe 2 or 3 months ago, I was like, I don't really need any more Marvel Legends.
So now, is that rooted mostly in maybe like you said, like you have these guys already, or is it like is the appeal just not there?
Yeah, I think because there are so many other stuff coming out that's cool, like some of the third party, like the Fury Planet and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And the Marvel Legends are getting up there in price, right? They're like
Mhm.
some of them are $27 for a Build-A-Figure,
Yeah.
and for like 10 more bucks, I can get like a cool collector figure, or a line of Marvel Legends comes out that's 5 figures or 6 figures deep at
Yeah.
27 a pop, and they're figures that of characters I may already have, or I only want one character in the line, but
Mhm.
I could buy one of the Fury Planet figures that are awesome instead of buying that entire line of figures.
Yeah.
It's just no bang for the buck anymore. Looking at the Marvel Legends, to me anyway, to me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like a combination of different factors, and I kind of agree with certain lines are more inclined to make you just kind of stop because, like I said, between the pricing and yeah, and it's almost like I liken it to Dunkin' Donuts continually raising their prices. We all know that Starbucks is the bougie place to go
Man,
get
we're
your
talking
coffee.
about a lot of junk food today. Maybe we need to
Yeah,
stop, go get some dinner, come back.
listen, the price of peanut butter cups just keeps going up. And I'm just
It's
saying,
always worth it, though. It is
if you're
always worth it.
if you're charging $2.35 for two Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups, I can go and get a box of Little Debbie brownies, and then
Come on now.
and they're delicious, and I
That is a good point. Or cosmic brownies. You can get a whole
like
box of cosmic brownies.
yeah, so, but I mean you're right though, the steady increase in cost, and then it doesn't help when you hear about all these record breaking profits that companies are making, and they're not really passing that on to the consumer. And meanwhile, you've got these other companies who are yeah, maybe they are priced more, but I understand why certain things are priced more than something that you can go to a big box store like Walmart or Target and get.
Right.
And the
Even if it
discrepancy
comes
is
in a little
really
box.
thinned out. Yeah.
But then you're getting characters that we
thin.
don't have. Like McFarlane is doing a lot of in his the DCEU line.
Mhm.
He's doing a lot of characters that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
Between Bloom and this and that and the other, and like you're like, okay, well that's a 7-inch scale. I've
Mhm.
never gotten that character,
Yeah.
and it's $5 to $8 cheaper than the Marvel Legends.
And with some of them, you could even like the upcoming Dark Side. If the DC Universe Build-A-Figure Dark Side is not doing it for you anymore, and you want him to be just a little bigger anyway, because Dark Side's always been noticeably larger than some of the other characters, this
Yeah,
new McFarlane Dark Side could fit right in and
yeah.
tower over your other stuff. Uh, but again, I take your meaning with
Man, I'm
the
giving McFarlane way too much credit today.
listen. He's doing some stuff.
He's doing good
Uh,
things, though. He's
he's
doing good things.
doing some stuff right. The Green Lantern stuff that was recently revealed, where you get the one figure with the 3 heads.
Yeah,
That's really cool. But then he also takes a couple of steps back because he's one of the chase figures is a Green Lantern that comes with 2 heads.
right.
Stop it. Stop doing that. Do gold label chase figures that make sense, like the gold statue of Superman.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm going to stop collecting your stuff. But
There you are.
but it I can see like wanting to be done with like a specific line because they've kind of either hit their saturation point. And I've noticed that even with my own collecting, that I've kind of hit that point with Masterverse, with Masters of the Universe, which I didn't which kind of came as a
Well,
surprise
you're
when I
collecting
think about
multiple lines. I'm only collecting
yeah,
the one line. You're collecting the Origins, the
yeah.
Masterverse, you've
And
got multiple lines going on.
and it's collecting multiple lines with a fairly condensed cast of characters. I don't need that many He-Mans. I don't need that many Skeletors. Um, but it also kind of like puts a damper on. Okay, I've been with the line from the beginning. I've gotten all the Skeletors from the beginning. I've gotten all the He-Mans from the beginning, and the most recent ones look really good. Like the most recent Triclops and
Yep.
the Battle Armor He-Man and the new Skeletor. Like they all look great. But then you look at maybe not more than a couple of years ago. Oh, I already got these. So what do I do with these now?
Right.
I customize figures, so sure I could customize them into other things, but I'm
Yeah,
falling
I
in
already
the
need one
cycles
He-Man.
I
I can have
sped
any
up.
amount of Skeletor though. I already need one He-Man, but Skeletor, I'll take all of it.
I'm that way with Slash. If
Right.
Slash
Yep.
Ninja Turtles appears in any time, and that's a whole other
Well, you're also collecting multiple lines of Ninja Turtles.
yes. And I think that is part of what has started to contribute to. I am not going to quit toy collecting anytime soon. But I have noticed, and I think a lot of other collectors have gone through this, where they will, like you've done, will put certain lines on hold and say,
Yeah.
I've collected enough of this, and like I said, like with Masterverse, I kind of started to pull away from it. Like I see them on the shelf, and I'm like, and they're not priced that bad. Like $21.99 today for
No,
an
they're
action
not at all.
figure
Not at
that
all.
comes with a decent amount of stuff.
Of
That's not bad.
and that size and that, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, this new wave is on the shelf, and it's Triclops, Mechanic, Battle Armor, He-Man, and Keldor, and that's like 80 some odd bucks. Do I want to drop that now? And I still have Triclops from the cult of Motherboard, and I've got there's a new Trap Jaw that also looks really good.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I also have another Trap Jaw. I've got Tila, but I really want that new Tila. So maybe I cool off. But then you also worry about FOMO.
Right. Yeah.
Am I
And that's
going
big
to
for me. That's big
regret
for me. Like I've recently
not?
had to, I'm a Joe guy, right? But
Mhm,
there are some classifieds out because my display isn't out like it was.
mhm.
So when they're displayed and I get to see them and take it all in,
Yeah.
then I don't want to miss, especially like something I love
Mhm.
like G.I. Joe. So then
Yeah.
it's like every Cobra Viper I want.
Mhm.
Because I could see it, it's there. But
Yeah.
now that my display's not out like it was,
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, you know what? I could wait on that guy. But
Yeah.
like, I want to get the main cat. Like I'm going to get Airborne. I'm going to get
Mhm.
Naugahyde. Like I love those guys. I need to have those because I have a connection with those characters.
Yeah.
But like the random Red Ninja or this Viper or that Cobra, I'm
Mhm.
like, I can wait on those. Like I don't have a personal connection to them.
Yeah.
But when I have the display out,
Mhm.
that's different. Like that's a numbers game. And I'm like, I want to see them all together. But when I don't have it out, it's easier for me to control myself. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But like right
Yeah.
now,
No,
I'm not
100%.
buying those red ninjas and stuff coming out. But
Because
I
you're
had to get
able
Naugahyde.
because you're able to immediately enjoy what it is that you bought.
Right.
We have a storage unit, and a lot of purchases. I have piles of boxes that I have not opened yet, and there's that debate.
I
I
know it
have a
hurts my
limited
heart.
amount of.
It hurts my
I,
heart. It makes me
yeah,
sad. I don't go to the storage very often because it makes me sad.
it is rough because I mean it also makes you rethink your like what you're doing with
Life
your
choices.
yeah. You know what? I don't regret anything. I regret not having even more money to collect even more things. I regret having a limited amount of shelf space, but that forces you to make decisions.
Right.
So yeah, there's still stuff coming out for lines that I want, but I also don't have that real estate for it. So I wind up putting some things in the storage space for that inevitable later that
Right.
may or may not come
That
depending on
someday
the
when you
collection
and I
comes
have a
up.
warehouse
Yeah.
for only
Yep.
us to enjoy.
You know what else I encountered? I've only experienced this once. I was when was it? It was like not early 2000s. Yeah, no, early 2000. I came into possession of the Godzilla. I think it was like the 1996 Godzilla Burning Final Premium
The big
figure.
one. The big one.
Yes, it was 2 feet tall, 4 feet long. But it was a
He
premium
would
version.
he
So it
would
was
put it in a stroller, walk
yeah.
around the mall with it.
And where did I get them from? I found someone on eBay because I was living pretty well. I was still in Philly.
Mhm.
I was graduated from college, and I was just getting into the workforce, and I didn't have a whole lot. There's not a lot of responsibility, more money than responsibility at the time, so I could splurge on that
That'll
kind of
never happen again.
yeah. So I remember looking around and seeing it. Oh, because I had gone on a trip to New York to New York City, and there was a store called Image Anime, and they had this in their display window. and I was fixated on it, and I needed it, and nothing was going to stop me from getting it. And I finally wound up. I found someone on eBay, and I got it for a good price. And it arrived, and I opened it, and I took it out, and I marveled at it, and I just stared at it, and I was done. Like
I remember you telling me about that. Now it
I
doesn't,
was,
yeah, you were just like, I've reached the pinnacle. I
yeah,
have that toy, and that's the one I needed.
yeah, that was it. And this was still when like KB Toys was still around. Toys R Us
Mhm.
was still within walking distance. There was an Aldi's that was still getting random toys in. So I still had toy options. Like Beast Wars was still going on. So there was a lot of different toy lines that I had been actively collecting. I was still, this is when I was rebuilding my Battle Beast collection.
Right.
I'd gotten a good majority of those. So I still kind of had feelers out for missing holes in that collection. But this Godzilla was, this was it. This was everything. And then after that, I stopped. Like I didn't collect. I wasn't interested. I
It's
didn't want
amazing.
anything
Like,
else.
what does that feel? There was a couple of years where like, I didn't buy
Mhm,
much
mhm.
before moving up here. Like there was a
Yeah.
couple that's just a little like I would buy here and there, and I had my collection on display. I had a
Mhm.
very nice house, and the whole upstairs was an open loft, and
Ah, that is
I
excellent.
had everything up there,
Mhm.
and I felt complete. Like I had my
Yeah.
place. It was, it was on the lake. Like I had a beautiful house,
Mhm.
and I had the display, and I was like, this is good. And
Yeah.
I would buy a new piece here and there, and blah blah blah. But
Mhm.
it was also during that time where it was kind of boring. It was a lot of like
Mhm.
that McFarlane kind of statuesque stuff.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything jumping out at me.
Mhm.
And I was like, I feel good. I feel like this is
Yeah.
it.
You you
And
kind
it's
of
a weird
is
feeling, right?
it is it's so strange to, yeah, like to be done. Like you've, and it's a personal choice. Like it's not like you finished a collection. Like I can see that being a reason for someone to stop collecting whatever. It's like,
Right.
oh, I
If they're
reached the end
collecting
of the
like
line.
one
Like,
thing and they
yeah,
had them
it's
all. Yeah.
like if you're collecting sectors, there's only so many sectors to collect.
Oh
So
yeah, we could do that
once
in a
you're
weekend.
done, you're if that's all you're interested in, you're done. But to make that choice and like there be other things available, but you're making the conscious decision, no, I don't need that because I'm good. And it was such a strange, such a, I don't even want to say relief because I don't not enjoy collecting. I was
Right.
just like I didn't need anything else, or I didn't feel as though I needed to get anything else, even though I was seeing new things coming out and I was
Right.
appreciating the new things. And I remember like still being online and seeing new stuff. And I never stopped going to toy stores. Funny
Right.
enough, like
No,
I
just to
always
go
went to
window
look.
shop. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just to
Yeah,
check it out.
and
Not go
but
ahead.
like that compulsion to buy it all was just gone, and
Yeah.
it didn't come back until tragedy struck, and I had to move into a new apartment, and I could not. My finances at the time were such that uh, I was covering a lot of different things, and the move was going to be like the first and last month's rent is due and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
nonsense. Uh, and I couldn't do it, so I wound up having to sell it,
Hmm.
and it broke my heart. Broke my heart. And
Yeah.
I remember sitting with that thing, and I was like, I've. It's not even like it was a grail per se. It wasn't something that like I'd been longing for
It's just a source
forever
of
in
joy.
collecting.
It's just a
It
source
was,
of joy.
yeah, it was just such a magnificent piece in my mind, and I managed to get it, and nothing else really compared to it.
Hmm.
And then I had to sell it,
Yeah.
and then the whole thing started all over again. Like once that was gone, once that was out, once I was out of my life, uh, I went back to it. It took a little while for me to jump back into collecting, but
Right.
once
You
it was
know,
gone, I was full steam ahead again.
I was thinking about that time in my life, and as you know, I'm a man of a lot of passions, right? I
Mhm,
really enjoy the movies. I like doing
mhm.
theater and singing.
Yeah.
I have a love for animals,
Mhm,
and when I was in North Carolina, what had happened was I had opportunity. I had more animals. I was
mhm.
outside more. I was
Yeah.
looking for snakes. I was doing wildlife photography. I was out camping, and then I was doing some theater, and I was doing all kinds of things, right? And then when I moved up here, like 10 years ago,
Mhm.
a lot of my animals couldn't come with me.
Yeah.
And I don't have an ideal place for them because the winters get so cold, right?
Mhm.
And there wasn't a great place. So my passions then, and doing theater here in New York is much harder than doing theater in North Carolina,
Yeah.
right? So I don't go singing anymore. I don't even go out to karaoke anymore. I do still play a lot of volleyball,
Mhm.
but with my current knee condition, that may be over. But
Mhm.
so I turned all my attention almost away from 5 or 6 other hobbies or passions and really just focused on the toy collecting. And
Yeah.
that's really all I had. Like all my time and my energy was put into buying toys and doing and
Mhm.
researching toys and doing that. And that's when I put up the big display and I was
Yeah.
curating that. So I really think um for lack of a better way to put it, I really did all of my other passions kind of ran out of steam
Yeah.
except for toys. It was available to me and it's something I love
Mhm.
doing. So that kind of got all the energy from everything else put into it.
Yeah. Have you ever have you ever quit from I guess not quit, but have you ever stepped back or considered taking a break out of frustration? And by that I mean I've heard multiple other toy collectors and people buddies of mine that also collect where it's just too much of a hassle
Right.
to get everything that you're collecting. Like
It is a
I know
lot harder now.
like I remember kind of bring it back to He-Man, the 2000X line when that had come out. It was a great line. Like I loved that toy line. The sculpts were great. I loved the show, and I remember people were collecting or trying to collect it. I was seeing a lot of people online who said, "I can't find Tila. Has anyone seen any Tila? There's tons of Smash Blade and Spin Blade Skeletors and He-Mans,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I can't find." So I think when it becomes so difficult to like you want to enjoy this line,
Yeah.
but distribution and
Yeah. It's still weird.
availability and whatnot, maybe that
It's
makes it difficult to even
yeah.
bother collecting. So if you're stuck with an incomplete collection that you know you're never going to be able to finish, I could see that really cooling people off and saying, why am I bothering? There's no, and especially if you
Right.
just have interest
Yeah,
in one line.
if you're a staunch completionist,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be difficult. And it
Like,
is still hard. Like
mhm.
the shelves get stocked at Target or
Yeah.
Walmart, and if you're not there the day they get stocked,
Yeah.
they're emptied in a couple of
You're
days, and
SOL.
it never gets restocked. Like
Mhm.
literally months will go by in
Yeah.
the Walmart near me before a single new toy shows up on the shelves.
Like I could.
And you go and it's the same exact toys for
Mhm.
weeks and weeks and weeks. And that can be frustrating. And if you don't have, especially for a young person who may not have the credit card to have be
Yeah.
online or the resources to pre-order stuff, and especially if you're looking for higher end stuff beyond
Mhm.
retail, because things are getting so expensive,
Yeah.
right?
There's a lot of choices that they need to be made for,
There, yeah,
especially if you're
yeah. Like I
collecting more than
said, you could
one.
choose this line of 5 Marvel Legends, or you can get, the one Voltron you want, or the one,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Um, so I think you're right. So people will pick and choose. Well, and I find myself doing this. Like I'm not. That's cool, but I'm not going to invest in that because, and we've said it a million times on this show. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I'm gonna.
Yep.
That's another thing.
Yep.
It's almost like if you're not a collector, like if you don't have that bug, and I'm not saying
Mhm.
just toys, like if you don't have that synapse that fires that
Mhm.
makes you want to collect something, anything, I don't care what it is. If you don't
Yeah.
have that synapse, you don't understand, like, I'm not going to start that because if I get those 4 figures that are cool in series one,
Yep.
then series two, three, four is going to come out and I'm going to want those. But if I don't start it, if you don't start nothing, there won't be nothing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. That's exactly where I'm at with the Pokemon figures that we were looking at. Target.
Yeah, they're
They're
fantastic.
they're really well done figures, and there was when some of them started to go on clearance. that who was it? Raikou, that really the lightning tiger.
Yeah, that thing's awesome.
Looks really cool. It was a really cool toy, and I love that particular Pokemon. I couldn't get him. I wanted him, couldn't get him because that would have sent me down that hole. And even if I waited for stuff to go on clearance, it's still, you're looking at the financial obligations, the space that you may or may not have for it. It's it's real tough.
That's how I ended up with all the mummies alive. I was at a bin, like, right? When Mike was in the Sunrise Mall in that flea market, I was going through a bin, and it was like five figures for $7 or something, right? And I had 4 figures, and I found one of them, and I thought it was cool, and I was like, I'll get this guy. And then I got home, and I cleaned them up, and I put them on the shelf, and I was like, damn it. So now I had to find the rest of the mummies alive, guys, right? You know who must be endlessly frustrated? All the people, and my younger brother is in this, Dale, who loyal listeners you've met. He loves the Playmates Dick Tracy figures. And I just, within a couple of months, I sent him the police car, and like he's got everything on card and loose and blah, blah, blah. But he's never going to have the blank. It's never going to happen because it's a $3,000 figure, right?
Man.
And no one is going to spend $3,000 for that figure. But like there are people who have them, and they're charging $3,000. No one is going to pay that for a Playmates Dick Tracy figure. So just lower the price.
Just let it go.
Lower it down to $200. You'll get $200 for it. You're never going to get $3,000.
Build your ice castle,
and that's just so somebody can go, I have a $3,000 figure. You don't, right?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But no, if people who have the whole Dick Tracy line are never going to have a complete collection.
Well, I think that's a good note to end this on. This has been fun. This went fast. I have missed doing this. I'm trying to think of a question to go along with this.
Oh Lord, I forgot
topic.
about the questions that you can cheat on.
I can't think of one that would really be relevant to like what makes.
I got one for you. We haven't discussed, like you took the break, like you've reached the pinnacle when you had that Godzilla. What would make you stop collecting now?
Oh,
besides bankruptcy or death?
That is an excellent question. Wow. I don't know if I have a proper answer for that. The only thing, if somebody, if somebody gave me, that doesn't even, no, that wouldn't do it. I was going to say, if somebody handed over, because I had to sell a lot of my Battle Beast collection, or rather my Laser Beast collection, years ago when I fell on hard times, baby. If somebody came to me and said, I have everything here, but I had to pay for it, they're just giving it to me because I love Battle Beast so much, that might do it. But today, in today's world where we have the potential to create our own toy lines, I don't know if that would be enough for me. I would want my own updated toy line that I created, that came from my head, because we're now able to do that. I think that might actually be what would get me to stop collecting, which might be part of the reason why I dragged on for so long.
Right, because you have the skills and the know-how, and you could actually do that.
Yeah, it is something that I've always wanted to do, and I've always wanted to take part in it and have a hand in it, to have characters and action figures based on a property that came from my imagination. Even if it's an homage to something else that I enjoyed, it's still uniquely mine. That might do it. That might make me stop, because now I have exactly what I want. We spend a lot of time, we collect things that pique our interest because, that's a thing that I like.
Right.
But if I'm creating what I want, if I'm only buying stuff because it's an approximation to what I want, and I can now create exactly what it is that I want, whether it be from my own sculpting hands or I hire someone who's super talented and they can do it, that might get me to stop, because now I can make that which I desire.
Right.
Which might sound a little self-indulgent, but I think
Funny a little.
I think that might do it. So what about you? What would get you to stop?
One, if this power ring that I've been fidgeting with actually worked and I could just
Oh,
make whatever toy I wanted from my will, that would work. Or two, with the way the world and the country is going, I had to run away and live in the woods by myself.
well, let's not go down that route.
Then, but it would be that extreme. Like it would have to be something like that, where I had to whittle action figures out of tree bark. Yeah, that would be about the most extreme thing. That would be about the only thing that would do it.
So yours really would include something like bankruptcy or something horribly life altering,
Or a willing removal from cultural norms. Yeah, that was
well, that sounds fair.
right. Right.
So, viewers, listeners, thank you so much for joining us on Two Guys Talking Toys. Let us know what may have led to you setting aside collecting, or if you had stopped, what brought you back in? Because I'm actually really curious about kind of the journey.
I know what brought them back in.
Collecting.
This show
Right here. They got that notification bell and said, "I'm back. We're back."
Yes.
Get a hold of us on Twitter. Our handle is Two Guys Talking Toys. That is number 2, no G after the talking. Get a hold of us on Instagram. That is 2G Talking Toys. Same thing, no G after the talking. The Gmail is also Two Guys Talking Toys, number 2, no G after the talking. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Take care, everybody.